I've kept everything. Those last forever. Here we are with Marty and his old school Model Works Javelin. A little breezy here today. It'll be interesting to see how it does with it. Is the wind messing with you at all?
Doesn't seem too bad. It is a little bit.
Got a Super Tiger 45 in it. Do you know if it's a Chinese or an Italian one?
Chinese.
I always thought my Chinese ran better than my Italian one did.
I actually do too. Slow down pretty easy. Turns nice and tight and flat. Definitely wind messing with it there.
Well, it's definitely a little breezy up there. I just had my glider up and it was beating it around pretty good.
What do you think, 10?
10, 15. I'd say gusts are probably close to 15. I just keep... What do you got, Colonel?
79.
Not too bad.
It can do better. Doing another run? Yeah. I'm not diving it. Marty from MBMRC. Just got my Javelin done here a few days ago. I've got a few flights in on it. Really like it. It's different. It reminds me a lot of, years ago there was a plane called the Acro Trainer from Campbell's Models, and I fortunately have one that I picked up at a swap meet. I had a Super Tiger G60 and it's still in it. Flies a lot like this. It looks a lot like this. I don't really know where this originated from, whether this was a World Models. I really don't know, but it flies really fast and it can go pretty slow. It will pretty much do anything and everything you want to do. And much like most of the old school Model Works kits, it builds really easy, really fast. I was contemplating, because of the size of it, I thought this thing's going to need at least a 60. So I bought a 55 OS AX 55 for it, and I thought this might not be enough. I went to put the engine in it, and the muffler wouldn't clear. So rather than buying an extension, I reached on the shelf. I had a Super Tiger G45 on there, a new one, and I thought, you know what? He says it'll fly on, a 25 to a 51. So I put the 45 in it thinking, we'll see. Actually, the 45 has more than enough power for it. The 55 AX would have pulled it along really well. And again, I just didn't want to play around with the muffler extension on it and do all that. The Super Tiger's got that long tube and you can adjust it. And yeah, and again, I mean, if you want to pick up one of these engines, they're always on eBay. You can buy them new or used, however you so choose. I actually got this one on eBay. It was brand new in the box, relatively inexpensive. They're a great engine. This is a Chinese version, and I've heard conflicting stories that the Italians were way better than the Chinese ones. And I got to be honest, I've got a bunch, and I think the Chinese run as good, if not better. I don't know the longevity. I've never wore either one of them out. So, but anyway, yeah, the plane is great. Flies really nice. Actually, at slow speeds, it can fly like a trainer. If you turn the rates down on it and you handed it to somebody that never flew before, it's not too far from flying like a Cadet LT 40 or any type of trainer. It flies really nice slow. But again, with the thin airfoil that it has, you can turn it on and it'll boogie. It definitely will boogie.
About how long did it take you to build it?
Actually, it wasn't that long. Matthew and I both worked on it as usual together. He did the fuselage, I did the wing. Would it take us about 3 or 4 days to do this?
Yeah.
And then we built it during the week, and I covered it on a weekend. In fact, it was last Sunday. Today's Sunday. It was last Sunday we got it done, did its maiden voyage with it. And yeah, it's smooth, like you would expect a top wing to be. It just, like I said, it reminds me a lot of the Acro Trainer.
Does it have any bad habits in the air?
None. The only thing, and I'm not sure what it is, it could be the way I have the motor mount, but takeoffs, it torques pretty hard left. Once it's up in the air, it doesn't have the tendency to do that too much unless you're really diving it and you're pulling out of it hard and you start to go up vertical. It has a tendency to torque a little bit to the left, so you got to be on the rudder a little bit doing some vertical maneuvers. You got to pull her a little right. You got to use the rudder. But outside, I mean, and that's not really a bad habit. That's just something to, but no, it doesn't want to stall. It's not a stally plane. I mean, again, if these planes are all in what you want them to be. I mean, if you put a 25 in here and you kept the rates relatively calm, you would have yourself a really great flying trainer type plane.
Probably pretty versatile too. You could probably grow into it a little bit if you wanted to.
Exactly. And down the road, you know, you could pull the 25 out and throw a whatever in. And I honestly think that if you really wanted to be crazy, you could throw in a 60.
It's definitely built strong enough for a 60.
It's built strong enough for a 60. It's built really, really, really strong.
All of his stuff is built strong.
Yeah, this is strong though. It's definitely built to take it. Yeah, I think that if you flew this with a small engine, and again, it's all in what you want to do with it, and you need to make a decision before you build it, whether it be electric or glow or what you're going to do. Make the decision of what you want to do. If you want it to be a hot rod, then gear it up to be a hot rod. You know, pick your engine out, make your choices. You know, if you want it to be an electric hot rod, you need to, you know, make whatever provisions is necessary to do that. Same thing with, you know, a smaller glow or whatever you want to do. And none of this has to be overly expensive. His kits aren't overly expensive. You know, you can buy used equipment and things that are still in good shape. And again, like a Super Tiger, if you find one, you see it on eBay and it's used, take a good look at it. Look at the pictures. If the guy has pictures of it, look in the exhaust port, see, you know, what it looks like inside. If it looks pretty clean, it's still good. You know, you get a lot of life out of them. I have Super Tigers that was in my original Cadet that was from the 80s, early 80s, that is still running. I've never touched it. I've cleaned it before, but I've never wore it out. The only engines I've ever wore out were some Fox engines that I don't think that their tolerances were right to begin with. But for the most part, a Super Tiger or an OS, unless somebody did some extreme damage to them running them lean, they're fine.
All right, yeah, so all in all, pretty good plane. We'll leave a link in the description so you can go check this thing out if you want to buy it. And as always, I want to point out that we are not sponsored or affiliated by Old School Model Works in any way, shape, or form. And please don't be afraid to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thanks a lot. See ya.